What's up, guys? Back on me as you can see, we got Smallville Season 1, Episode 11, Hug. Okay, so this episode starts off with this guy named Bob Rickman, and he's talking to this, the other guy, but the other guy that Bob Rickman is talking to won't budge because Bob Rickman, he wants to, make make some place into a plant, but he's into industry plant, but the other guy's like, what about the other plants what about plants that you've turned the yeah. So yeah, and he shakes his hand, and he's able to convince him to. He's like, yeah, but because Rob convinced that guy to jump out a window and die. So so then we got so then we got Clark and yeah. Then we got Clark, and he's like, yeah. So Lex meets Bob Rickman, and Bob Rickman's like, actually wait. There's a scene where Clark and Lana and Chloe are riding horses, and Chloe drops her camera. So Lana goes to get the camera, but then falls, and then she screams. So Clark goes to find her, and then he finds this guy named Kyle, who and yeah. So Kyle goes to Bob. So Lex is like, Bob's like, hey, I want the Kent farm, but Lex is like, I know the Kents, and they'll never sell you, Bob Rickman. So then Kyle goes to Bob Rickman, and he's like, hey, and yeah, so it's like, hey, you said our deal was that I took over company. For this, but you stay out of Smallville. But he's like, I'll tell people who Bob Rickman really is. And Bob Rickman's like, yeah, I can just convince people. So yeah. So then Clark's talking to talk to talking to Lana, and Whitney's like, how can you trust that guy? That guy lived in was cut off from society for like 10 or 12 years. How can you trust him? He's like, I do. So Whitney sees Clark talking to Kyle, and he's like, stay away from my girlfriend Lana. If you won't, I'll beat you up. So then Rickman comes over, and he convinces Whitney. So he grabs Whitney's hands, and then we see Whitney's eyes glow green, meaning that Bob Rickman has convinced Whitney to attack Kyle. So then we see Kyle and Clark are just talking when Whitney comes out of nowhere to attack them, and and Kyle, defending himself, attacks Whitney. But since Whitney doesn't remember this, Kyle gets arrested, and he's like, but that guy tried to attack me. Like, why are you defending him, Clark? And he's like, and then he's like, I just know, and then Lana's like, Clark, what when you just told me that you accused him of attacking Kyle? Like, what is going on with Clark? And yeah, so yeah, and he's like, what's going? All the thing that's going on with Whitney's father. What is going on with you, Clark? And he's like, Whitney hasn't been that guy. Remember when he strung me up in a cornfield? And I was like, Clark, if you don't like Whitney, don't pretend to be his friend. So yeah, Clark and Lana are not on good terms right now. So, so yeah. So Rickman goes to Mr. Kent and he's like, hey Mr. Kent, can I have your farm? And he's like, no, you cannot have my farm. But then but then Bob Rickman touches Mr. Kent and makes him touch Jonathan and convinces him and makes him sign to give over sell the farm to Bob Rickman and yeah. So yeah. So Clark goes to talk to Lex and Lex is like Clark, I know Bob Rickman, he's not a nice guy. You gotta help me. But then Clark's like, help me out and stuff. So yeah. So yeah. Then Kyle breaks out of prison, but then Bob Rickman convinces someone to shoot Kyle. Then Kyle convinces someone to let him go because Kyle has the same power as Bob Rickman. So yeah. But they escape and so Chloe tries to Chloe tries to go see Kyle, but then they're like, one of Lex's mates is like, who's Kyle? Because he escaped. So yeah. So they go to see him, but then and he says so Kyle reveals that he and Bob Rickman were the worst salesmen. They were not very good, but then when the meteor shower came, they were able to convince people to buy all their prices, and yeah. So I say a lot. Like I just realized that. So anyway, and they go and then Chloe's like, come on Clark, let me do it. So he convinces him and he convinces he's like, Chloe, you're in love with Clark and you've always been in love with him and now you can show him how you feel. And Clark's like, and then Chloe just kisses Clark. It's just so cool, but it's also weird for Clark. And then Chloe snaps out of it. She's like, come on, aren't you gonna do it? But and then she's like, why is her mouth so minty? Because she has no idea she kissed Clark. So yeah. So Bob Rickman goes to Lex and is like, hey Lex, and Lex shakes his hand because we don't see it, but once we see it, Lex is like, hey, come on, but hey, I can help you, but nope, it's because when Lex gets into the car, he throws a lighter and burns the car, and kind of like he's been Bob Rickman got to him, so and he's like yeah, so he's like, hey Clark, you have always kept secrets from me, so when you could have just told me. I just feel like, as a lot of people feel, I think this must be how Lex truly feels. See, like being convinced by Bob Rickman must have unleashed some truth and Lex. So yeah. So he's like, hey Clark, if you don't get out here, I'm gonna hurt Kyle. So Clark gets out of here. He drops Kyle, and Lex starts hurting Clark like a mobster, with those guns. And Clark keeps dodging and weaving and yeah. And yeah, so Bob Rickman and Kyle get into a fight, and then Kyle kills Bob Rickman. So that's the end of Bob Rickman. And yeah. And then Lana Lon and Clark apologize, and then Clark apologize to each other, and then Clark is like, look, I can't believe how the friendship ended like that. He's like to Clark, he's like to Lex, will we ever end up like that? Foreshadowing to their rivalry. Yeah, foreshadowing to the rivalry. And it looks like Clark, our friendship will be the stuff of legends. And that's basically how the episode ends. Okay, so this episode was really good. Bob Rickman was so annoying. I so did not like Bob Rickman. I kind of like Kyle though. I don't think he's gonna come back, but I kind of liked him. He was a good character. Lex, yeah, you knew how much you disliked Bob Rickman. Actually, I think it's weird that Lex would touch Bob Rickman's hand even though he didn't like him. Even Clark said, hey, you hate Bob Rickman, but then Lex is like, you can always learn from people you hate, which is not true. Don't listen to Lex Luthor, everyone. Yeah. I kind of liked how, because of what Kyle, I kind of like how Whitney did not remember what happened, so he thought, oh yeah, Clark's against me, so Clark agreed with him, so he kind of told Lana, and I kind of put friction between Lana. I kind of did not like that, how they put friction between Lana and Clark, because I'm a big Lana shipper, so yeah, and that's it. I thought it was funny that Chloe kissed Clark and couldn't remember it. I just thought how Chloe just kissed Clark. So yeah, I post, like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you next Smallville.